I think 22 female might have ruined my fiancés, 23 male, and I don't know who's in the wrong. So I, 22 female, and my fiancé, 23 male, went strawberry picking today. I had a feeling he was going to propose there, and I was definitely right. We had a great time picking, even though by the end of it we were both melting because of how hot it was. Anyways, we walked inside to get our strawberries rung up and leave, and the cashier guy looked a lot like Noah from The Notebook, so I told him, "I just want to say you look a lot like that guy from The Notebook." Couldn't remember his name at the time. Keep in mind I was literally looking down at my ring gushing about it when the cashier first grabbed the strawberries and weighed them. So he's seen the fact that we just got engaged, and I'm very much obsessed with my fiancé. I left all my family and friends and moved basically 2 states away to be with him. I didn't think anything of my comment because I didn't mean it in any flirtatious way. It's just immediately what came to mind and I just said it. When we got in the car, he asked me if my comment makes it okay for him to hit on other girls in front of me. So if some girl looked like Nicki Minaj, should he say that to her? I told him, yeah, if she honestly looks like Nicki Minaj and that's all you say, I don't have an issue with that. Just because someone looks like someone doesn't mean you find them attractive. Either way, I still apologized and told him I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to be taken that way. That's not how it was meant at all, and I don't want this moment to be tainted by a petty fight for the rest of our lives. I tried telling him I love him, but he wouldn't talk to me. We were supposed to go grocery shopping afterwards, but when we got there, I told him to lead the way, thinking it would maybe get him talking or in a better mood throughout the trip, but he snapped that I'm the who wanted to go here so bad, then sat on his phone ignoring me, refusing to pick anything out until eventually I just felt so overwhelmed, stressed and honestly heartbroken that today went the way it did, that I broke down crying and eventually had to walk away because I was just going to get worse. He leaves and goes and sits in the car, and I realize I don't have the card anyways to shop by myself, so Elle went to the car too. We drove home in silence, and I'm not sitting on the back porch writing this, while he's in his car probably listening to music. It honestly feels like he doesn't want to be with me half of the time, or looks for arguments, and it eats me up inside because I have no one out here but him. I just want to know if what I did was really that out of line, and if so, how to fix it. I feel like your last sentence is very telling. It honestly feels like he doesn't want to be with me half the time. Please consider if you want to feel this way for the rest of your life. I left all my family and friends and moved basically 2 states away to be with him. Leave him, and go home. There's a reason he moved you so far away from your family, and this is it. In his mind, you're stuck with him because you've got no support system, and he'll continue to tear you down and treat you like this. So far, you've allowed it and he's escalating. He made you cry because of a passing comment. This is not normal. Up until you decide what to do about this, please make sure your birth control method of choice is working, up to date. You don't want to get tied to this guy for 18 plus YRS at the same time you're considering breaking up. Don't marry him. Based on what happened today and you saying you feel unwanted half the time, he looks for arguments. I'm not going to say leave the relationship, but I would strongly consider if the engagement is right. Also, no, you didn't do anything wrong by your comment. You're still so young. You don't have to be with someone who treats you like this. If you're wondering if all men are like this, do they all get a little jealous here and there, the answer is no. There are men out there who wouldn't have taken offense to what you said. There are men who are secure and won't take things out on you just because they're uncomfortable. I promise, if you decide to leave, you can absolutely find someone else who makes you happy all the time and not like you're feeling right now. Please take some time to think about if this is how you want the rest of your life to be. How do I handle my 34F husband, 37M, shaming me for basic body functions? I hope this is the right place for this. I didn't know where else to post it. It's very embarrassing to post, but it's beginning to seriously affect both my mental and physical health. For as long as I can remember now, my husband's been shaming me for basically any form of body function. I can kind of understand stuff like an accidental burp or fart, although if it does happen, it embarrasses me greatly due to how big of a deal he makes out of it. But what really gets me is he heavily shames me for being on my period or pooping. I try and hide it the best I can, but it's hard to hold it in for so long to where I know he won't find out, and the fear of him catching me makes it hard to go once I find a chance. Now I'm not talking about just a light teasing. I mean he will go off for a long period of time about how disgusting I am,
how gross it is, how bad I stink, or that he can smell it all the way in the other room, etc. Now this makes me feel bad, anxious enough. But the kicker is 1. He will continuously mention this regularly for years.
Like if he catches me, he will not let it end, ever. 2. He'll actively tell people about this. X. I caught her taking the biggest shit after she had the baby. It was disgusting. I could smell it from the living room, and though she could hide it. I've tried talking to him countless times about how much it bothers me, but he won't even respond. He'll just actively ignore me, or at best be like, "But it is gross." I have to try and find ways to hide myself away during the time of the month and make sure my sanitary products aren't seen. I've learned how to mostly keep any farts, burps from escaping. And I hold in my bowels as long as I can, to the point where it'll hurt me and make me feel ill, and I still get anxious the whole time because I'm so scared he's going to come in the bathroom. Showers don't help, as he'll still randomly walk in. I'm at such a loss as to how to handle this. I just want to be able to take care of my body functions without anxiety. Is there anything I can do to help handle this situation? TLDR: husband actively shames all body functions, continually brings them up over the course of years, talks to other people about it in what feels like a degrading way. Not sure what to do. I'm at such a loss as to how to handle this. I'm at a loss as to why you married this clown. Is there anything I can do to help handle this situation? Not live with this clown. Yes, you can handle it by leaving him. Do you want to raise a kid with this asshole? Make your daughter think that periods are shameful, pooping is shameful, and other body functions? He won't change. He is passively controlling you with his comments. He is abusive. Yes, ignoring you and shaming you for normal things and inducing anxiety and stress in you when you have to go to the bathroom is abuse. He already walked over you so much that you think his behavior is fixable and that you have no choice but to stay. If you wish to live your life like this, stay. But if you actually want to live a normal life and have a fulfilling relationship, there is no other option but to leave. This dumbass doesn't shit? Be disgusted when he shits and tell him you're done with him acting like a boy in elementary school. I have a body, dude. It does things bodies do sometimes. No matter what you believe, I only have so much control over that, and I'm not making myself literally sick anymore trying to meet your unrealistic expectations. Take it to therapy if you've got a problem with that, because you're the one who's being weird about this. Or just get out and take the kid with you before he gives it a complex, too. But stop acting like you need to placate him on this, because you don't. You have a child with this person? Let me guess, he's never changed a diaper because of course the baby doesn't poop? What is happening here? How is he even able to have sex? It sounds way too gross for him to handle. Stop with this ridiculousness. If he can't handle bodily functions, then that's on him. Stop trying to hide and live your life, preferably without him. The answer to your last sentence is divorce. My 36M husband says I'm ableist against his autism. 25F, I ableist? So for background, my husband, I'll call Danny, has autism. He's not far on the spectrum but generally in the middle. My older brother was high on the spectrum, so I know how to deal with people with autism well to a degree. A thing about my husband is he's picky. I mean, really, picky. If even a bit of cheese or something drops the tiniest bit on another part of his food, he'll refuse to eat. He can get aggressive quickly and will throw and kick whatever he can in sight. But he'll sob afterwards and apologize to me as much as he can. Everything happened last night. I was cooking spaghetti bolognese, my finest dish lol. Danny has these special plates toddlers have where they are silicone with little dividers in a circle. Because it's toddler-sized, he has two, so it's a more adult portion. I put the spaghetti, garlic bread and bolognese down and passed him his plates. I turn to dish my food up when I hear this. Thanks, babe. Wait. I can't eat this. You know I can't. Why? I'm really confused. I thought I did everything right but realized a bit of chunk of tomato fell from one part of the plate and went onto the garlic bread. I'm kicking myself at this point internally because now I know he won't eat. I then realized. Oh, sorry. Why don't you eat the second plate and I'll split my food with you? Danny gets up and slams the plate on the floor and I hear a splat and a rubber squelch noise. I turn and both plates are on the floor and he has a grin on his face. Make it again. You know it pisses me off. Do I need to remind you I'm autistic? I looked pissed.
At that moment I felt my blood rushing.
He sounded like a cartoon villain and was smiling the entire time. I'm annoyed, so I just shout at him, "Why are you fucking smiling?
Your autism is more like an asshole-ism.
I'm not your maid. You can at least help."
I never swear.
Ever. I work with children, so even I was surprised with myself.
Danny looked taken aback and flipped me off and just called me an ableist little bitch, and stormed off to our room and locked the door.
I flinch a bit and get more annoyed looking at that mess. I just leave it.
I get my food, turn off the stove and just eat on the couch and fall asleep on it. I woke up the next day with him gone and a text saying, "You need to be more open-minded to my disability and realize the world doesn't revolve around you."
I hope this can be fixed when I'm home later. I called in sick to work today, so all I've done is clean, read and take a shower. I'm reassessing my whole relationship, and maybe I'm just a jerk? He does have autism, so he probably can't help it, so I feel even more worse.
Am I ableist?
I feel so horrible for all this, and I don't know to apologize or reconsider everything with him. Yeah, fuck all of that. If he can't handle food components touching, then it sounds like it's time for him to cook for himself. There's a reason he went for a woman 11 years his junior. He's an abusive boss hiding behind his disability.
Let him cook and plate his own damn food. And while he deals with figuring that out for himself, maybe reassess whether you want to stay with a man who will use his disability as a shield to abuse you. Why would you be with someone like this?
The world doesn't revolve around him either. You can do better.
Girl, get a divorce.
Abuse.
This is abuse. I'm the pickiest eater known to man, but I don't make it anyone's problem but my own. This is ridiculous on his part and not something a partner should ever subject a loved one to.
You deserve so much better. Please get yourself away from this man as quickly as possible.
This has nothing to do with his autism.
He is using it as an excuse to be abusive to you. I'm also going to go out on a limb and say he chose someone 10 years younger than him because, and no woman his own age would put up with this shit. B. He thought you would be easier to control since you were younger and less experienced. C. He could verbally wear you down until you wouldn't even think about leaving him. Which, by the way, you should think about. It's not going to get better. Hi. I'm autistic and I don't act like a fucking asshole to my partner, friends, or family when I'm having a hard time. Your husband is taking advantage of his diagnosis to abuse you.
Sorry, but I really think you should leave.
The way you live is not healthy, and it's not okay. I'm at a loss.
Husband not attracted to me?
33 female, 30 male. I, 33 female, am losing my mind.
My husband, 30 male, is the love of my life.
He supports me, does so much for our family, and works so hard. We don't have sex. Like legit, I can count on one hand how many times in 12 months.
We got married this past summer and didn't even have sex for the first couple weeks.
I used to send pictures, videos, etc. to get him excited. I'd get "oh hey winking face" or "wow babe." Nothing else. I don't know how to initiate sex with him.
Everything is a joke or is funny. We have fought so much about this that I'm honestly at my wit's end and thinking he's just getting ready to divorce me.
He may be depressed or burned out. Try talking with him.
If he is working a lot of hours and doing a lot outside the home, he may essentially be perpetually exhausted and have no energy for intimacy.
Lack of sex doesn't necessarily mean lack of attraction. There's something more going on with your DH that you need to get to the bottom of.
Is he depressed? Possible asexual? Just doesn't like sex? Etc. Sit down with him and tell him that he needs to be serious for a change and have an honest conversation with you. Express your feelings to him.
Did you not realize before marriage that you two weren't sexually compatible? Inability or unwillingness to have sex may have nothing to do with attraction or compatibility. He could have ED, or a hormone problem, or some lingering mental health issue.
You say you've talked about it. What does he think the issue is?
Low testosterone, have him get it checked.
Hard hands, medium light skin tone.
It's also a sensitive subject to guys, so maybe be more understanding and give grace. Constantly asking for sex makes it worse, I promise. Was it the same before you guys got married?